Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday. I'm a little day late behind to share the weekly word with you. This week's word is responsibility. I know a lot of you don't watch mukbangs, but I was talking the other day about a situation with my daughter's father, and it just made me think about some things. When I was growing up, y'all, it was, I come from a large family. As a matter of fact, I have 7 other siblings. And my dad, who was in the military for 23 years, he retired as a master sergeant, but he went on to work, just believe in raising children to be, he wasn't a big, affectionate type person or anything. He was very stern. And he believed in us working. We worked at an early age. And he also taught us the meaning of what being responsible was. Now, I had a very irresponsible biological mother in that she didn't work or anything and barely held on to a job when she did. But my dad raised us and had custody of us. And so, that being said, a lot of times I see people, grown, able adults, who don't want to be responsible for themselves. They can't even buy their own set of personal hygiene items. And I know that we all fall on hard times and situations lead you to this place or that place. But it's one thing to want to do and can't really find anything, but you're trying. And it's another thing to just not want to do and have the expectations that it's somebody else's responsibility to take care of you. No, it's your responsibility to take care of you. And it's not about, I see a lot of people saying, oh, touchy-feely. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting with my BP a couple of years ago, and he said, what is it like that you like to do, or what would you like to do? I told him like this. I wasn't raised to be thinking that it's great if you find something you love to do for work. But I wasn't raised to believe that, oh, I got to have it and it's got to be so enjoyable and this, that, and the third. No, it's my responsibility to go to work and have a good work ethic so I can take care of myself. To be a responsible person, it's not about loving necessarily your job. You need to find that outside of work sometimes. But you need to go to work and put forth your best effort and have integrity on the job. You need to recognize that your responsibility is to take care of yourself. Work is work. Some is hard and some is not so hard. And it's how you approach the situation, that this is how I live. This is how I eat. This is how I provide for my family. Instead of making excuses, I can't work for the man. Well, no offense, y'all, but who the hell is the man? You the man. You need to be able to take care of yourself and your family, or whoever you are. And don't let me get on my soapbox. This is for women and men who receive child support. And I realize some situations require a full-time parent to take where the parent has a special needs child or has a load of children, and it's not going to benefit you financially to go to work. But it's part of your responsibility as the other parent to take care of your child as well. Don't depend on one person paying child support to take care of your child. Because what if I would have sat on my hind parts waiting on my daughter's father to do what he was supposed to do? Well, he wasn't doing anything. So where would that leave me? And where would that leave her? In the system. And you all are quick to talk about somebody in the system, and that's just not a way of life. It's fine when you need to lean on it and use it, but that's not a way of life for forever. And mothers out there, fathers out there who are getting child support, whether it's a hefty amount or a small amount, and you're living off that, you have to think beyond what's going to happen when this child turns 18. What have I done for myself? So if you have to be at home with your child, get you some type of hustle you can do at home. It may not be much, but it'll have you a little something. So when your child is aging out, you don't be thinking, well, Lord, what am I going to do? And I hate to say it, I've seen where people have had 18-year-old children, and not because it was an accident. They deliberately have other children to depend and lean on somebody else or on the system because they don't want the responsibility of taking care of themselves. If you get child support, and I realize sometimes that you need every dime, you don't have anything left, plus your income. But if you get child support, if you can, try not to be dependent on that. Be dependent on your income, your salary. Because if that other income goes away, what would you do? Responsibility. You have to be responsible for your own life. That means getting up, doing things that necessarily you may not want to do. Cleaning up behind people, taking some mess, bridle your tongue. Show up. And I'm not excusing a person for not being in their children's lives and doing the things that they're supposed to do for their children. Because ultimately, if you don't have a stitch of dime to give, children don't remember what you do for them financially anyway. Most of the time, like I told my brother, we had a large family. Yes, my father was in the military, so we seemed like we lived fine, middle class or whatever. I don't know the struggles of what my dad went through to take care of a large family like that. But what I can tell you is my father did not have any shame in what he had to do to take care of his family. This man not only was a minister, he was a master sergeant in the Air Force. But guess what? My dad also worked. In addition to us kids working to have extra, my dad worked. My dad hustled and he popped popcorn in the concession stand in the movie. And this is a man that held master degrees. Stop being saying, I can't do this and I can't do that. There was no shame in him going to shovel popcorn and serve concessions to have extra money to provide things that his family needed. Because I'm sure it was expensive not only to provide groceries, even though our houses and stuff was paid for. I'm sure it was expensive to provide grocery and clothing for a large family of that size. I'm here to tell you, stop thinking about self and all my enjoyment in my life and learn the responsibility. And guess what? It's great if you're in a marriage and you're grown and you decide, well, okay, we're going to sacrifice and make some sacrifices so I can maybe concentrate on writing a book or living my dream or doing this and that. But you also don't, if you really love someone, you don't want to see another person stressed out for you to live your dream. You want to contribute where you can to make it light on them. But if you're a grown adult out here laying up on somebody and you're not doing anything, wake up. No one owes you anything. Get yourself together and start being responsible. You know, my daughter graduated from college, but my daughter being an only child, she's my only living child. And I let my daughter live with me for a year after college. And keep in mind, she worked a full-time job that whole year. And I told her, you can save money, do what you want. And my mother felt some type of way. Felt some type of way when I said my daughter had to go after a year. And it wasn't so much, and not to say my daughter knows she can always come home. But the one thing I know, if I died today, I know my daughter is able to know what it is to have to pay bills, have to be responsible for her rent, have to be responsible for saving. I still take on a lot of her stuff. I'm completing paying for her car. I still pay her car insurance right now. But for the most part, because I didn't want her just to jump out and just have to be so stressed. But my goal is for her to know what it is to be responsible for your own life, to take care of your own life, and to know how to do it. Know how to cook for yourself, clean for yourself, do the things for yourself. Because it's one thing to say you're teaching your child in your home, but as a mother or as a parent, you're going to still do those things for your child still. And like I said, if my daughter fall on hard times, or if she need to come home later, or after a year, or she's been in her place a year now, another year, she said, Mom, I want to come home to save some money to do. Okay, fine. I understand that you know what it means to be out here, to be responsible, to have to say, it's a cutoff point. I can't spend this money. Teach your children responsibility. Teach your children where you can about money. That everything is not for everything, because these kids now think everybody gets a trophy in the game. Everybody participation. No. You're not going to win 100% of the time. It's going to be some things you have to do that you don't necessarily like to do. But that's part of being responsible in life. Yeah, I'm on my soapbox, of course, today, and it all stemmed, like I say, from a conversation with my daughter. But it's just being responsible for yourself in life. Owning you. If you have a family, being responsible for your family. Lead by example. Show your children what it means. And that's men and women. I'm not excluding anybody here. No one owes you anything. And you sitting up here mad at your parents or whomever because they not doing this, that, and the third for you. Your parents wasn't trusted to raise you. And to be quite honest with you, 18, you're still young-minded. I still did things. I paid for my daughter through college. And like I said, my daughter didn't leave home until she was 23. I gave her that year after she graduated from college. But at 18, my dad said, y'all got to get it. And I left home when I was 18. My other siblings didn't leave then because they were still over in England. I left and moved, and my family was in England. I left and moved to North Dakota. So what I'm saying is, it was not like you're not going to sit up here and do something forever. Make your children, I don't care if you got all the money in the world. Make your children know what it is to work, to understand the value of $1, not just give and hand them everything. I see so many people that are so disrespectful towards people because they're not a certain status. I remember when I was in school, and this is just another issue of respect for people, period, regardless of what you feel their status is. One of the instructors made, a test, made us know, and I think he had got this idea from somebody else. What's your janitor's name was the test question. Person we saw every day. And that stuck with me. I never treat anybody different anyway, but I mean, that stuck with me, that you need to value people, period. Regardless of whatever. And I see people that, I work with a lot of executives that are really sometimes so condescending, depending on, well, this person don't have this and that. You don't know what a person has. And it shouldn't even matter. Y'all, today I know this is a bit of a rant and rave for me, but it's just be responsible for your life. If you've been entrusted by God with children, be responsible for your children. Show up. Financially, emotionally. Love them. Teach them. Make sure they know the Lord. Make sure you have your own relationship with the Lord. I'm not big on religion, but have your own spiritual relationship. Take time to praise and be thankful. Y'all be responsible today. Y'all know that I love you, but God loves you the most. Remember to always be kind to yourself and others. Be joyful and be blessed. And y'all, I'm sorry I'm a day late, but I want you all to have a beautiful and blessed week. It's time for me to get up here in this job and be responsible for my own life. Love you all. I'll see you later this week for a meal and a chat. Bye.